Welcome to the Oracles. Following a much needed break, with us today is the beautiful superstar Oracle Zima Zibuko. This week we are joined by a special guest. This lady was born in Wanyuswa in KwaZulu-Natal, was raised somewhere in Mpumalanga, and she is currently based in Durban. She is an incredibly talented and busy woman. And when I say busy, I mean she is really, really busy because she currently works in the hospitality industry and she's currently studying towards an honors degree in human resources. On top of that, she is the coordinator and lead singer of the Durban International Convention Center Choir. She's a member of the church choir as well as the Saint Anne's Solidarity Mass Choir. She's also a solo recording artist and worshiper, and she's a radio host as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the oracles have the pleasure of introducing to you today a woman of many talents, a wonderful woman of God, a songwriter, MC, motivational speaker, and a worshiper of note. Sis Thandeka Dube. Sis Thandeka, how are you?
Welcome.
Hi, I'm well, thank you. Such an honor to be speaking to the oracles this morning. It was, well, my apologies, it's an evening on my side. So it's because I do a morning show. Sorry.
No, I understand. I understand.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
No, but thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for allowing us to speak to you.
And making that mistake, I also do it as well because I'm also on radio doing the weekend afternoons. And sometimes when I do the intros for this, I want to say good afternoon and things like that. I totally understand.
Thank you so much.
No, Sister Thandeka, I understand that you grew up in Mpumalanga. Where in Mpumalanga exactly did you grow up?
Okay, so this is Mpumalanga, the township in KZN, not Mpumalanga province.
Oh, okay.
Really?
All right.
I didn't know that. I never knew that existed.
Look, actually, the province stole the name from the township, guys. So
really?
That's something.
I see. This was new.
Yeah.
No, Mpumalanga township was there. Remember, in the 1980s, there was violence and stuff. That was in the Mpumalanga, the township.
Okay.
And then when there was a time when the provinces were being renamed and I know that, and then Mpumalanga province just came up with Mpumalanga province, and it was such a thing with the township because like, how can you steal our identity? But I don't know how people convinced others that we'll both keep the names. But that is where I grew up, a township, a small township in KZN called Mpumalanga.
Yeah.
The original Mpumalanga.
if I ever get an opportunity to talk to
so interesting to learn a young history lesson.
Yeah, if I ever get an opportunity to talk to the first premier of Mpumalanga, Metis Posa, I have to ask him about that. How they came out, how they decided to come with the name Mpumalanga.
Well, I mean, I love the meaning that the sun is rising or the sun coming out. It carries so much meaning, you know, because then you're starting a new day, possibilities. So I understand why. Yeah, I guess I do. Yeah. But anyway,
I mean,
I come from the original Mpumalanga.
Where the beginning happens, basically, where everything starts, the sun rises. Speaking about the beginning, let's take it back, right? Where does your music journey begin? Where does it start?
Music with me, it's in the genes. I believe I was born with it. My mom, up to this day, is a member of the choir in the church and she conducts the church. Well, she's more like a mentor now, but she is quite musical. So I believe what I was born with. That's the entire family sings. We used to have what I didn't mention that there used to be a family choir as well. But we've all gotten so busy now that it's so hard to maintain rehearsal times and that. But I was born with it. But then, people that have the music in the genes, like high school, even in primary school, she says that I would sing like with the hymn book before I could even read. I was singing along with the church the loudest. But then, our parents want us to go and study, and she'd always say to me, you need your education. You're never going to make it in this world. So it was never a thing for me to choose music as a career path. I was always going to go to tertiary and study, which I did. But you know, with I always just say that gospel music is a calling, because it's not just about the person who is worshiping. It's more like delivering God's message. So at a certain point in my life, when I started the career, he brought me back to where he wanted me to be. And I really just believe it's a calling because of the way things just present themselves. It's not something that I'll say I actively went after, but it happened.
Yeah.
Shipping point for it.
And that's
and I'd actually love for us to go deeper into you going into gospel music, because you have an incredible voice that could take you wherever you want to go. Why did you stick with gospel?
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It was, again, I never just want to make up stories. My stories just stay the same wherever I go. I was working for a company in Richards Bay, and we have this quarterly meeting. But at a particular time, there was nobody to entertain my colleagues. And a good friend says to my bosses, you know what, Thandeka can help us out. Someone that I grew up with that knew me very well, that knows me very well. And now I'm sitting minding my business in the office. I get this text, Thandeka, we would just so appreciate it if you can just render an item on this particular day, and you're not going to take no for an answer. I'm like, oh my God, where does this come from now? And I remember phoning Mom, you know, they want me to perform. The last time I did this was in high school, and I do it in church, obviously every Sunday, but to perform like an event. And then I started preparing, and this is where when I say God brought it to me, because I don't know what to say to my voice whispered in my friend's ear to say it was really just in school. And this is way from that. But then it was just, even staying secular. I remember saying to Mom, even then, if I'm going to go on stage, I want it to have meaning. I want it to build something in someone who's listening. I don't want them just to be entertained. And I did, and already she says, I'm asking God for wisdom, you know, and but from there, then whoever was in the audience says to me, we have Women's Day, can you please bless us? And then from that Women's Day event, someone says, we have this event. And then I've always just been in an environment where the company will just be so taken whether I do that, they'll book me and make sure that I get booked. And it grew and it grew. I ended up working now at an international convention center in Durban, where everything happens. And then, of course, my boss finds out someone's farewell. Can you please render an item? So it grew to a point where I realized, you know what, this is where I need to be. Somehow I have to make time for this. And I would even get gospel gigs, and then people would just say, you know, Thandeka, people that know me, when you worship, this is where your calling is. And then I started receiving these melodies. The church says, won't you please compose a song for us? And I'm still like, but I have never composed anything, and I'm given a verse to compose a song. And already then, that was God saying to me, you can actually write your own music, child, if you didn't know. And the church paid for everything. They even paid for a music video. And I find myself standing at a stage. We had a conference with 5 different countries, 5,000 youths where we were performing. And I realized that moment that this is where I need to be. This is where God wants me to be. And I haven't looked back since. That was in 2017. And I haven't looked back since. Yeah. And it's just sort of grew from then. And like, for example, what happens, and God still had me. By end of the year, I had put together an EP. So he makes it possible in such an amazing way that I feel like this is where he wants me to be. And I know, and I just know there is no mistake. And I mean, before I was even having my own music that I had composed, I was sharing the stages with the likes of Ntokozo Mbambo, and I look back, pinch myself, God, you are amazing, you know? You know, the funny thing, the one when I was booked with Ntokozo and Mbego, they now had to market the event. And I would look at them going to the radio stations. We have on the lineup this, and Thandeka Dube. And I'll sit back and think, I wonder if they even know who this Thandeka Dube is. And then I promise you, we meet at the event. And I remember I was saying to Ntokozo, babe, this is Thandeka Dube. And I could tell, they've been asking myself, who is Thandeka Dube? But he went on like, babe, this is Thandeka Dube. Come meet Thandeka Dube. So yeah, and that's how it happened. Honestly, I mean, I wish I could have a fancier story about this, but that's just the truth of it.
Yeah,
that's so amazing.
Yeah.
Like speaking on singing Nabo and Dogos and
Yes.
all of them. You are a true worshiper, right? And I ask this because what does it mean to you to be a worshiper, a true worshiper? Because from where I'm sitting, I'm just a person who's enjoying the worship, who's following the worshiper. But I believe that it's somewhat different from you being the worshiper. Like, what does it mean to you?
You know, you have music that when you just sing, it just really touches your soul, whether it's your own composition or something that you've heard many times before. So here I am. It was meant to go on for 5 minutes, and we were on the 8th minute, and I don't know, when Holy Spirit takes over, all of a sudden, the audience, she says, my sis, you had me so sure, chances we hear speak through. So I really just believe that that's the meaning of a true worshiper. You're not just someone that's singing. And I'm saying that this is how God revealed it to me. I mean, I'm on stage and already he speaks through me, and I've learned to accept it. When it comes, I just make sure that I proclaim whatever is meant to be conveyed at the moment where it's meant to be. I hope that answers you.
It really does, because when you speak, like, you know, when a person is a true worshiper, there's something that happens in the spirit as a person who's listening. I really can't explain it to this day, but you know, those literal goosebumps, and I get that a lot when I listen to worship, and I took it personal, you know, because of the relationship I have with God, and it just spoke to God. That's what being a worshiper means.
I believe he calls specific. Yeah, it is really, I actually look forward to it, because I feel that now when I'm in that state, everything is just surrendered. It's all just about God now. It stops being about me or what I'm wearing, even what my name is. It becomes really about God's message to his people. And he called me to it, and I'm just so grateful to have actually purpose.
And you know, when you speak of that, before you started music and everything, and when it got to the point where you started, where did you and where do you draw inspiration from?
The most amazing thing is that I of melodies and I got a lot of messages. My very first single is Inkosi Inamandla.
Yes.
And now living with my mom, who is musical, and I start saying, Ma, there's something in my head. I just wanted to listen to it. So I record myself on the phone, and I says, you know what? It sounds so good, but you got to do something more with it. You're not going to be one of those people who just do a one-liner. God has given you more than that. And going back now to answer your question, I go and I read the Bible. God, when you say Inkosi Inamandla, what it is that you want me to say to your people. And then it led me to the scripture where God says, all you who are carrying heavy burdens, come to me and I shall give you rest. And if you listen to Inkosi Inamandla, it goes on to say, let's go Ive Jesus of Twalela, you know. And my inspiration has always got to come from the Bible. The music itself will come whether I'm sleeping or at work, and my producer even says, make sure you keep that phone with you so that you can record these melodies, because sometimes if you let it go that one time, it will never come back the same. So my job then comes into putting it into a complete song. And I'm one of people who say, I've sent a melody, I've sent with my producer, I sent the full song, the melody, and even the lines. So his job is to just make sure that it's constructed into a proper song that we can put out to the public. Yeah.
You know, when you speak about that, actually, it makes me think about how people, when they hear a melody and they're sleeping, I've heard people say that, like, I jump out of bed or I turn around and take my notepad and write down.
Yes.
Or if I have a studio at home, I get up and record same time because I don't want to lose it.
Yes, absolutely. It hardly ever comes back the same way. It's just, it comes once and you just gotta grab it. And this is why you find a lot of people in the industry, people who tell you, I don't sleep much because it's something that you carry with you the whole time. Someone said to me how they cope with everything is just to nap in between whenever you can to get that rest. Because you might be up at midnight recording something, when people are sleeping.
Sister, in your EP, Grace, you've got a song titled "I've Got Jesus," which you did with your mother. It sounds very, very different from all the other songs that you've done. Listen to that one. I don't know if you took it from an American, because it sounds very American. Like what Benny Hinn kind of church song. Benny Hinn, very inspiration. What is the story behind that song, and why did you choose to do it with your mother?
And you know what, there is a story. The first time I did that, thank you for asking the question. The first time I did the song with my mom, I was in high school, actually, at a concert. So it just carries a different, because we love doing things together. And she's one person who's so much like me. So we do a lot together, and including music. So we did I've Got Jesus together at a concert. And I know that it was recorded somewhere, and people would just say, your voices are amazing. And now comes the time for me to put together an EP, because I'd had the 2 singles, and I said, you know what, I have to feature Ma. I mean, she always said to me, if she had grown up at a time where we had Your Idols or whatever competition that we do have now, where people get opportunity to be exposed to the industry, for people to know how good they are, she could have maybe ended up as an artist also, but it just didn't happen. It was something that was back in the day. She says to me, she had been featured in a concert, and my granddad said to me, to her, no child of his was actually going to be on a stage with all those men. What type of life is that? So it never happened for her. And I just felt like this is something that we needed to do together. And it took a lot of begging on my side, because she was like, what are people going to say? What is this go-go up to? And I said, Mom.
And actually, speaking about your music journey, how is that going? Because you're saying it could have happened for your mom if maybe it was the times of Idols, right? But now, I don't want to say she's living her dreams through you, but then you're doing something that she also enjoyed. So it must be beautiful to watch. So with that journey, how is it going? How close are you with your mom? How is that support? Like, how are you finding the industry as well?
The industry itself is amazing. I said earlier, you find purpose. Purpose is something that I feel when you do, it doesn't feel like work. You could spend an entire day, an evening, or a week working on it. It still doesn't feel like work. It's purpose. It's fulfilling. And once you're done, you feel like now, you know what, everything is okay. Everything is fine. And also because of my relationship with God, it just has that much more meaning. It's not just really about singing, and also just making a difference in someone's life who's listening. I still get people who say, Inkosi Namandla got me through this and got me through that. So that is just the most fulfilling aspect of it. And secondly, I'm not going to lie to you, in South Africa, the talent is absolutely amazing. To actually find your niche, or people who are going to say, I want to listen to Thandeka again and again, when they are so spoiled for choice, when we have so many amazing artists, like running a radio show, a gospel one myself. We receive new music almost every week. So I would say that it's tough in that sense, because you just got to work that much harder for people to take notes. And I always just prayed, God, you've brought this to me. You are the reason that I'm here. You're going to make a way for people to actually get to listen to the music. So that is one aspect of it, to get it out there for people to listen. But we are so grateful that we have social media now as well. And the most amazing thing is now being with a show that presents gospel music, where I'm so much more exposed to my colleagues in the industry, which is also a blessing on its own. So I would say that the journey just keeps unfolding. It is absolutely amazing. How I ended up doing radio, I had gone for an interview at a radio station, and the station manager then contacts me later to say, don't you want to do a show for us? I promise you I laughed, because it's nothing that I've ever... It had never come to me even as a dream, and I laughed and I said, I'll come back to you. A few days later, he says, Thandeka, have you given it much thought? We'll start you with an hour and see how it goes. He even says to me, you can do a Sunday worship moment for us. I mean, that's what you are about, right? Mm-hmm. And as soon as he said Sunday worship moments, that just like, no, that sounds like Thandeka, something Thandeka could do. And we gave it a try, and we keep growing. We are talking about a longer slot, but I don't want to overcommit because I'm already doing so much,
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. God will make it happen the way that it's supposed to.
Yeah, and I'm very curious because I was looking at everything that you do. I mean, amongst the array of things that you're part of, you're part of the Durban ICC choir, you're part of the church choir, you're a recording artist, you are studying, you work full-time, you're on radio. Where do you find the time to do all of this?
I'm not going to lie to you and say it's easy. I know my favorite scripture is I can do all things through Christ.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I can't say it's because I'm that much more capable or that much more intelligent. It takes a lot of work. And one thing I got to work on, I admit, I don't sleep much, trying to fulfill all the roles. And because my day job is also quite demanding. You can imagine working at the ICC, how it must be like, where everything happens, and every day has an event that must be executed like 100%. So it's not easy. I draw my strength from God, one, and I rely a lot on my family. I'm just so grateful that they let me be, and they support everything that I try to do. I rely also on the church, and I've been blessed with a consultancy like Dita, who really just I say to them, how my schedule is like. If we're gonna schedule something, we just gotta make sure that it's at a time where I can actually allocate the time to make it happen. So I would just say that God has surrounded me with people who are able to support what I'm trying to do or what He has called me to do. My bosses are like, if you need to go for a rehearsal, you can make up for the time. So they understand also that I'm more than just your ordinary 8 to 5. There's a lot more to me, and they accept me as I am. Yeah.
That's got it work. Definitely got it work.
Yes.
Honestly, because you wouldn't not every boss or employer would allow you to go practice and do other things during their time. So that's literally got it work.
Yes, and she say, where are you actually going today? There's no parking. Get the driver to drop. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that, but the driver can drop you off and pick you up.
It's a good deed. It'll be fine.
But and then she will say, it's part of our managing talent. If our people that we have can do much more, then why not nurture that aspect? As long as it doesn't affect what you are actually here to do. And the reason the whole choir came about, I was like, now every time there's an event at the office, Thandeka this, why not give other people a chance? There's probably a lot of people who have the talent who could actually form now a choir, so that when we have an event, we actually have a Durban ICC choir, not just Thandeka singing. And that's how that came about.
That's so beautiful.
Oh,
it's admirable.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. And I feel like when people say we don't all have the same 24 hours, they're talking about fun hours is Sunday.
No, honestly.
Thank you. Yeah.
And you finding all this time, right? Should we expect an album anytime soon? Is decision to make time?
It's in the pipelines. Because by now, I promise you, I have composed so much. But I'm also looking to feature a few people. I won't say who at the moment. I'm connecting with a few. One thing I enjoy about the radio journey, some of these interviews, you end up just being best of friends. And the other day, I was singing to Mela, and she was saying, we found each other on Instagram, talking, and so I like the direction that it's taking, and I realize it's not a mistake. It's just meant to happen that way. So yes, an album is in the cast, to answer the question, but I would like to have a DVD recording for a change, because we've always done stuff in studio, and in as much as the platform allows you to put stuff like recorded, but nothing compares actually having a live performance, feeding off the audience. And I just feel like it allows Holy Spirit to felt that much more. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a different feeling altogether. And for that, I just can't wait. I can't wait. And God is going to make it happen in His perfect time.
And actually, just going off topic a bit, on Saturday, I saw a tweet from someone saying, they were at an event. The stage guys were there, set up, everything was ready. The sound guys were there, everything was ready. They've done sound check and whatnot. But the only problem was artists. The people who were supposed to perform, none of them were there at the time of the check. And he asked if we can guess which genre, what kind of event it was at. And the first person who responded said it was a gospel event. So, and apparently it was actually right. So I just want to ask, were you working at the ICC? Is it really true that gospel artists are synonymous with being late?
I think every person is different. Honestly, my own personal experience has always been the sound guys who are late.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Everyone is blaming the other now.
I've had two major performances where we didn't even get to soundcheck properly because everybody else was late. So but because this is now about God, it always works. The Holy Spirit is always gonna move, always gonna touch someone's life that I believe in my heart. So
that's true. At least I can agree with that is true. As far as the gospel artist is concerned, I don't know. I'm still yet to see it for myself.
God helps those who help themselves. They need to start trying to be early, and God will get them there on time.
Thandeka, we're almost out of time. It's been a wonderful time with you. I don't know if you have anything else that you would love to share with us.
First of all, I would just like to appreciate the time I've had with the Oracles. It's really been amazing. I've been looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having me. And to the gospel music listeners and followers out there, just to express appreciation for the love that we keep receiving. And it's just the most amazing feeling ever. Then you just know, you're doing something right. And even though we say that it is a calling, it confirms it every time. If you receive a testimony and someone says, ukuphila kwami, it has touched me. If someone says, my child suffered through the matric exams and I kept saying, and somehow the child makes it. So the testimonies we keep receiving. And please don't ever get tired to speak to us, to get in touch on our social media pages. I make sure that I never miss a message. I always make time. And to you guys who give us the platform to keep spreading the message and telling people who we are, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Because we will definitely at some point come down to Durban. And when we are there, we'll actually have to have like a proper interview with you in person. So that is a promise that we're making. That we have one day. Much. So one day soon that we're going to be able to do that. Z, do you have anything else to share or ask?
I do. One thing about me and putting people's songs against each other. I just like putting people on the spot. But right now, quickly, if you were to choose between Inkosi Namandla and Gowe Olitemba, which song would you go for and why? Like on the spot, for me, which one?
I guess because Namandla is a special place. It's the very first single ever. Being the very first ever. But Gowe was almost, because they were both ready at the same time. And I was like to the producer, let's go for Inkosi Namandla. It's like, Ngu, I'm like, Inkosi Namandla. So, yeah. For having made it to the #1 spot as the very first single Thandeka I ever released, it will always have a special place. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. I love both of them. That's how I was doing that to you. But that's all from me. That's all from me. Yeah, thank you so much for giving us the time. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Like, I believe in worship music more than anything in my life. And speaking with gospel artists always puts me at a better place. Like, even my perspective on a lot of things changes. And I really appreciate it. I appreciate the music. I appreciate you and really hope to see you going further and way beyond this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. I think Manelisi dropped once again, but yeah, we're almost out of time. So Thandeka, thank you so much. Manelisi will let you know once everything has been completed and sure to post the link. So guys, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Thandeka.
Thank you.
I think Manelisi is back as well.
Oh.
Manelisi, can you hear?
I'm sorry, connection is really, really bad. I can hear you guys.
No,
my connection is really bad. I'm really sorry about that. But thank you very much, guys. It's been a wonderful time. It's always a wonderful time with you, Z. It's been a wonderful time with you, Sis Thandeka. And we're looking forward to having you again.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care and stay blessed.
You too, man. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
What was that, Z?
No, I was saying thank you. I was saying thank you as well.
All right, cool stuff. As far as the oracles is concerned, we will be back again next week. So remember to like, share, subscribe, do everything that needs to be done. We're always happy to hear from you guys. But we will be back again with a brand new episode next week. Have a wonderful one. Cheers.
Goodbye.